Hey kids, Sheerluck Holmes here. After solving the case of the Golden Ruler, I thought it would be a great idea to introduce you to a detective friend of mine. His name is Detective Warner. Let's go pay him a visit. Morning, Detective Warner.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Great. What's the good word?
I'm working on a really big case.
Ooh, sounds mysterious. If you don't mind, I want to ask you a few questions about your work.
Okay, shoot.
What's it take to be a detective?
Well, to be a detective, you have to go to lots of school and learn all about different ways to process crime scenes and catch criminals.
So how long have you been on the force?
I have been doing this for about 6 years.
And what made you become a detective?
Well, when I was a little boy, I knew that I wanted to be a policeman and I knew that I wanted to be a detective, and I never grew out of that. I just grew up and became one.
Do you have any special memories of childhood crime solving?
I've got some police cars over here on my shelf that my mom saved for me, and they're in my office today. Isn't that funny? Oh, one of them's missing. There were 3, but now there's only 2.
And with that, I was called back into action as Sheerluck Holmes. Detective Warner and I were on the case.
Why don't we take a look around and try to find the missing police car?
We were on our way to get some special equipment from the crime scene van. I could tell I was working with a professional. Walking the halls of that police station reminded me of the time I went to lip rehab, where I met my friend Oscar. But that's another story.
All right. In this case is the crime scene scope. This is going to help us to find fingerprints and lead us to where this car could be. This is a very high-tech piece of real police detective equipment. We're going to go and turn this on and use this special light source. It's called an alternate light source, and we're going to actually be able to see fingerprints that are invisible to the naked eye. This is a super secret vacuum that helps us to vacuum for evidence and actually collect evidence from a crime scene that maybe we wouldn't be able to see with our eye, but when we take it back to the crime lab and empty the contents of the vacuum, we can see it under a microscope.
What'd you find, Detective?
Well, Larry, I didn't find any evidence.
Where do we look now?
I have an idea where we can look. Come with me. Come on, Larry, come with me. We'll go to the crime lab. Larry, I found this piece of paper outside of my office on the floor, and it might contain some evidence. Let's go ahead and check it with some fingerprint dust. This is the fingerprint kit, and what we're going to do is take our brush out that has some fingerprint powder on it, and we're going to check this for evidence. Larry, I think that we found some fingerprints on this piece of paper. Now, to get these fingerprints, I used this special fingerprint powder. When I was a kid, I used to make fingerprint powder by crushing up pencil lead.
Well, what do we know now?
Well, Larry, behind these walls is where we store all of our real life evidence. All of these shelves contain evidence from real cases.
And it's a safe place to put the evidence we've collected so far.
Larry, we didn't find anything in the evidence room, but right now we're in our high-tech computer lab.
How do computers help you solve cases?
Nowadays, detectives use computers to help us solve crimes.
What'd you find, Detective? Anything on the missing car?
I didn't find anything on the car, but I have an idea where to look. Come with me. Well, Larry, you are not gonna believe this. I have found my missing police car in this room.
Why do you think it ended up in this room?
Well, in this room, whenever we have kids visit the police station, this is a room that they can hang out, play with some of the toys, watch a little bit of TV.
So one of the kids must have borrowed your car and left it in here. Good work, Detective.
All right, now that we've solved the case, let's go back to my office. Larry, we solved the case of the missing car, and you got to see all of the tools that we use in real-life detective work to solve cases.
Thanks for having us today.
Thank you for coming by, and I want you to remember how important it is to know that the policemen are always there to help you solve your cases.
Well, Detective, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming by, Larry.